Alright, we'll go ahead and get started. I just wanted to update you guys on, since we're starting a new year with the wellness program, if it's good or bad, there's not a whole lot of changes this year, so I suppose that's probably a good thing, but just wanted to kind of walk you through things, show you all the opportunities for points again, just to kind of reiterate those things, and then point out a few things that I think sometimes get overlooked or I get a lot of questions on. Might help answer some of your questions. So if you have not logged on yet this year, it's going to have you go through your enrollment again, and that's basically just verifying your username, your password, your address, your email, your phone number, all of that. And then it'll have you fill out the health questionnaire right away. And I wanted to leave it on this screen because it will take you back, like when I log in, this is what it's going to look like until I do my questionnaire. It's going to bring me to this screen every time. So if I were to hit continue enrollment right here, it's going to take me straight to my health questionnaire. If you want to bypass that and do your questionnaire at a different time, you can just click go to home page and it'll take you straight there. So no changes on the health questionnaire this year. It is the same as last year. Okay, so on the home page here, we've got your 3 requirements again right here on the very front page. If you're trying to get back to your health questionnaire, you can do that by clicking right here. And then as soon as that's completed, that bar will go across green saying that you've completed that. New this year, as part of the enrollment process when you very first log in, instead of having to say the tobacco question within the questionnaire, that's a lot of questions, but it will ask you at the end of your enrollment, or if you're a tobacco user, yes or no, and then you just click which one applies to you. If you're no, then that automatically is going to go across as completed. I say automatic, but it'll take probably a day or 2 for that to actually show. So if it's not showing right after you do it, don't think that you didn't do it right. It just takes a little bit for the system to recognize that. So that's new this year. And then as you accrue points throughout the year, this is going to slowly go across until it is 100% completed there. So you can get to your plan by clicking here, view your plan information, or if you want, you can go up to my plan, go over to my plan here, and then click on view your detailed plan information. I want to point out this page because I think a lot of people get hung up on the wellness events page because there is a points total on the wellness events page. So that points total is only points for wellness events. So that's not going to include points if you do like your education modules, your questionnaire, your health screening, your tobacco-free points. All of those are not included in that wellness events total. So some people will see, oh, I only have 300 points because they're on the wellness events page. Well, really, you've got close to 600 with all of these other ones in there. So I would kind of just use this My Plan page as your landing page every time you log in, because this is your true total here at the bottom. And that bar is going to go across slowly green too as you accrue all the points in all of the categories. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, just like last year, these are all your opportunities for points. Those education modules, again, are just videos that SimplyWell puts together on all different kinds of health topics and conditions. So if you have something that applies to you or your family, or maybe just something that you're interested in, you can go ahead and watch those. If you just hit the play button on whichever one you want to watch, the video will run through. After you've watched the video, you'll automatically get 5 points earned for that video. There is still a maximum of 50 points in this category for this year. So you're welcome to watch all of these videos if you would like. There are hundreds, but you're going to stop getting points after 10 of them. So a lot of people have done, well, I've done like 30 videos. How come I'm not getting points anymore? Well, it stops after 50 points. So just be aware of that. So we'll go back to my plan here. I'll pass this around too. This handout just kind of briefly goes over everything that I'm talking about today. So we've got the education modules, the health questionnaire, same as last year. You can get back to it by clicking here as well, and you will get points for completing that. Health score achieved. So this health score is achieved through your health screening. As you can see, there's not a green progress bar here because it's not a requirement that you go through the health screening. And I wouldn't necessarily say it is recommended depending on your situation, but it's not something that you have to have done every year if you're a healthy person either. So you will get points for doing those things, and if you want to do it every year, that's totally fine, but again, not a requirement. So the health score this year, it'll say on the handout, but if you get 90 plus for your health score, you will receive 50 points. If you get 80 to 89, it's 35 points, and then 70 to 79 is 20 points. And that health score is calculated by your body comp, your blood pressure, and then some of your lab results, so like your lipids and your glucose and those kinds of things. So what all those results, they have an algorithm that they kind of run it through, and then you get a health score dependent on those results. And then below that is health screening, so you'll automatically get 50 points for just completing the health screening, no matter how well your health score is or whatever. So that is those. Any questions on the health screening or the health score? Health screenings are going on right now. We've only had one. There are 4 other options still left. One Thursday of this week, and then alternating every Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday until I think November 1st is the last one. And you can sign up for those on the P drive if you have not yet done so and if you'd like to. Health trackers, same as last year. These are all the health trackers that are available. In order to track something, you just go ahead and click in the category. You click the date that you want to track. So let's say today I would type in my blood pressure and I would click submit, and I'm automatically going to get 1 point just for tracking that. So for all of these health trackers, there's no specific threshold, so you don't have to have, say, a certain blood pressure or sleep a certain amount of hours or exercise a certain amount in order to get the health tracker point. It's just incentivizing you for tracking them or being aware of them. So those are all the ones that you can do this year. Maximum of 150 points in this category again. Questions on the health trackers? They do link up with your Fitbit. You saw that I already had some. I'll go back there. I already had some points in there, and I haven't entered those, so those are automatic from my Fitbit that they track up to. So it looks like steps, sleep, and some of the exercises will go in there. So if you've got any kind of device, I can show you how to link that up that way. Alright, then we have your tobacco free. You'll get points if you're not a tobacco user. If you are a tobacco user, in order to fulfill that requirement, you have to quit using tobacco or go through a quit attempt. And so we use Quitline Iowa for that quit attempt, and I can direct you to how to go through that program, or you can meet one-on-one with me to go through some tobacco counseling as well. And then wellness events, this is where most of the points are entered and time is spent. It looks shorter, the list looks shorter than it was last year, and that's for a couple of reasons. One of them is I kind of condensed some of the categories, so some of them were very similar. So now they're just one category, but you can still enter the same amount of points into that category, so that's nothing to be concerned about. And then also, as we go throughout the year, sometimes I add wellness events, so such as the On the Move Challenge when we did that in the spring. That's a wellness event that gets added to the list, so that's why it gets longer as the year goes on. So don't be alarmed if you think I took away opportunities for points. They are all still there. And the majority of the points totals are the same. A couple of them were shifted just because we got some feedback that some events were worth more points than others when really they were very similar. So we've adjusted some of those. And then as the SimplyWell challenges come up, and that's on your handout when those are going to be offered, those will be down at the bottom here like they always are. So wellness events, you can go in and you can click on each one. It's going to give you a description of what you have to do for each category. And then it's also going to tell you at the bottom if you need to keep proof of participation for auditing purposes for that particular category. So a lot of the wellness events, these are the ones that you do have to keep track of. We don't audit for like the health trackers or the challenges or things like that because I can get reports on those things myself. But things like this, these are the ones that we ask you to keep proof of. And the auditing process is really not that big of a deal if you just keep track of these things as you go throughout the year. It's super easy. At the end of the year, if you get audited, you just say, here's all my stuff, I go through it, and we're done with it, as opposed to if you didn't keep track of it throughout the year, I say I need to see what you did on October 10th of last year, and that's going to be really hard for you to probably come up with and figure out what that was.
Amanda, you can upload the document now?
Yes. So that is the new update. You can still add a note like last year, but this year you can upload a document. So you can, if you have a program or a kid's schedule, ball schedule or something, you can scan that in and upload it, and then you don't have to keep a paper copy of it for the audit. I can access that through here. Does that make sense? So that'll be nice for some of you who do keep those paper copies of those things. You can do that online now. So we'll go back to the wellness events. Any questions on these wellness events? Or the wellness events category, challenges? I will point out again, I did note it on the handout, but some of the wellness events are in regular print and some of them are in italic print. And that's confusing to some people. So the ones in regular print are the ones that you can go in and enter yourself. The ones in italic print are the ones that I enter on my end. And you'll notice if you click on it, there's nowhere for you to enter it anyway. So these are ones that you would have to meet with me or set up appointments with me anyway. So that's why you can't enter those points yourself. But that's good to know. That way if you're like, oh, is this something I enter myself or is this something she enters, then you'll know if you could just go in here and do that. So, yeah.
For the documents, do they have to be, can they be a JPEG and or PDF, or is it one or the other?
That I don't know the answer to. I guess if we like click upload, trying to even think I can find out the answer to that for you. I would think it could be either, but I'll find out. It's a good question. Yeah, because some of the proof of participation stuff is photos and things like that. So very good.
What type of events are in the miscellaneous?
Yeah, miscellaneous activities, there's not really a very miscellaneous, that's all the description says, but this is for, like, for example, we just did the Healthy Estate Walk. So instead of me creating a whole wellness event that everybody can see for it, I just enter in the 10 points in this category for those people who did that. So it's for situations like that. But that's, again, something that I would enter on my end. And other things, if I'm always open to if you do something out in the community and you think it's wellness related, whether physical, emotional, financial, whatever, but you don't know where to enter it or if there's not a category that you think applies, just shoot me an email and let me know and we can kind of talk through that and I'll guide you to where I think that applies most. Most of the time those things do apply somewhere, so don't hesitate to do that. Okay, so that's the points portion, the main portion that you're using SimplyWell for. Just kind of wanted to point out a couple of other tabs. This My Health tab, again, is where you're going to see your health score after your health screening results are put in there. You'll see your screening results here as well. And then also spit out, it will give you a couple of reports on your health. So your health screening results and your health questionnaire kind of combines those risks and that kind of thing, and we'll give you a report on your health that way. My plan we just went over. Resources, this is, again, just more resources from SimplyWell. So this is where your education modules are housed, I suppose, too, but any health news, health information, health tools that you're interested in looking through, those are just additional resources available to you. The Forms tab we don't use a whole lot anymore because I post a lot of our stuff on the intranet now, but occasionally there will be a form on there. I wouldn't think that you would ever have to go to that tab unless I direct you there, so I wouldn't worry about that much. This Shop tab, If you click shop now, it's going to take you to an outside vendor that works with SimplyWell, and we have access to. So this has things like Fitbits, Garmin's, your activity trackers. It also has other fitness equipment such as like yoga mats or weights or things like that. Also has things for like healthy cooking, stuff for the kitchen. Has some things for kids and health and wellness, and it's all offered at a discounted rate that when you would pay for full retail at a department store or something like that, and it's free shipping, I believe over $50. So if you haven't checked that out, and if you're looking to go get like an activity tracker or something like that, give this a look before you go out and pay full price for it, because that's a nice benefit that we do have. Okay. Any questions on the SimplyWell portal? There's really not a whole lot of changes, major changes to the portal this year, which is good. Points total is the same, still 600 points. I'm trying to think of what else I put here. A couple of things about the challenges. So the SimplyWell challenges are going to be offered February through March, and then July through August. And we've got, I think it's four or five, whatever challenges we normally offer. They'll all be available for those 8-week time periods, and they'll all be 20 tasks each. So if it's steps, if it's the 10,000 steps, you'll need to get 10,000 steps 20 times within that time that you're registered for the challenge. We made it that way so it's not so confusing if you're doing different challenges. Some of them were 6 weeks long, some of them were 4 weeks long, some of them where you have to do it 5 days a week, some not. So now they're all the same, and hopefully that helps alleviate some confusion. And then as far as other challenges here at Waverly Health Center, we will always do just little activities such as the Healthy Estate Walk and those kinds of things along the way. But we're also going to do a Healthy Holidays Challenge, similar to Elf on the Shelf like we did last year. And if we can get the sponsorship again this year, we will do On the Move again this year, because we got some good response from that. So those will be the outside of SimplyWell challenges that will be offered, but the points will still be tied to SimplyWell. There still will be points for that. Questions on challenges? No? You guys are pros. You don't have any questions today.
So what about like the in-between time, like from like our appointments, like our yearly appointments or dentist appointments, that like maybe we just have right prior to the start of this?
Yeah, so
can we?
Those ones, the only exception I've made in the past, because it can get not out of hand, but then I have to make a lot of other exceptions in other categories as well, is the flu shot that you get here. I've always allowed that to be counted in the following year. So if you had your flu shot back in September, you can just mark it as October 1, and you can put that down as a I think that's where it goes under preventive exams. But the other exams I try not to make exceptions for, because then somebody could say, well, I went to a concert the week before, can I get points for that? And so that would be something that you would have to log.
But I'm talking like mammogram or...
That you do once a year.
Yeah,
Yep.
once a year type thing.
Yeah, so then that would be something that would apply to this year, but you would have to track it at like the very end of the year.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good question. As far as wellness program communication type stuff, a lot of it now is done on the intranet, since we have lots of capabilities that way. Our SimplyWell button is still here, so you can still access the website there. But otherwise, we do have a wellness tab. So wellness updates, this is where I'm going to post things about SimplyWell, if the challenges are coming up, or if we've got any other challenges going on. That information will be there. Or like the health screens are coming up, or this is coming up, or whatever. That's in the wellness updates there. Community wellness. This is somewhere to look if you maybe do want to get points in the community fitness event or attend a performance category or whatever. We do post stuff in here about just different events going on in the community. So you can check here if you would like for those things, and it does have links to other community calendars as well. And if you know of an event, or if you're helping organize an event that should be on here, please let me know and I can put that on there. Our stretch and refresh schedule is also here, and I'll pass around a flyer for stretch and refresh. But basically that class, for those of you who don't know yet, is every Thursday at noon in Tendrils. Just an opportunity for you to get up and move your body throughout the day through basic stretching and relaxation. So formally it was like our yoga type class. I would say we still do, Leanne, you can jump in here, a little bit of yoga, but not anything really like on the floor doing crazy poses. It's mostly stretching and just kind of resetting your body throughout the day. So there's no cost for that this year. Every Thursday, same time. And then if the location ever does change, obviously Tendrils is a hot place to have meetings and things. So sometimes we do meet here in the CG room, and that information is always on this page, or I post a comment there usually the day of, or send out an email or something so everybody knows where the class is.
So that would be under the miscellaneous activities for 1 point every week?
That would be something that you would enter in a health tracker for, like exercise or relaxation for that. Lunch and Learns are also housed here now, so you don't necessarily have to go to our YouTube page anymore, or go to the Forms tab and look for the worksheets, because they are all right here, and then here's the video that you can watch. So that's nice to have that all kind of in one place there, and and then we've got upcoming Lunch and Learns on there too for you to see.
Amanda?
Yep.
If I follow you on this, will it tell me when you put something on there?
I think it's supposed to. Where's Jenny?
I don't know if it works that way in reality. You can try that.
Yeah. Because initially I think that's how it was
It's
supposed to, but yeah. Sure, you can follow me. I don't do that much exciting stuff, but when I do post there, yeah. Good question. So we went over communication. Audits I kind of touched on. So yeah, that's really all I have. Oh, one more kind of big announcement, I suppose. And I kind of toyed back and forth with even mentioning this to you guys because I don't want you to freak out. But SimplyWell has been bought out by an outside company or a different company. And I think overall it's not going to affect anything that we do this action plan or this year. So I don't want you to worry about missing out on points or getting all confused in the middle of the year because we're switching everything over. So it should not affect anything that we're doing this year. But starting next year, so next October 1, we most likely will have a new portal. It will still be called SimplyWell, it will just be owned by a different company, so it's going to look different. But it is going to be a good change for a number of reasons. Obviously, SimplyWell is a little bit behind the game on some things, which I'm sure you've experienced or noticed, such as they still don't have an app, which is crazy in this day and age that they don't have an app. And I think they've really struggled with trying to develop that app. So this new company does have an app, and it's fully functioning, and it's a great app, and it's a great company to move forward with. A lot of other fun stuff that they do have on their portal too that SimplyWell just doesn't offer. So you're going to be able to link a lot more activity trackers to this new portal. SimplyWell's a little bit limited. I still don't think that you can put an Apple Watch on there, which is kind of shocking as well. So a lot more of that, and then a lot more interaction with that if you do have those activity trackers. Or if you don't, they offer a lot more challenges throughout the year, and I think that you can access at any time. So right now, SimplyWell has 5 challenges, and this new company has like 25 or 30 different ones that you can choose from, and so we'll definitely be taking advantage of that. You can create your own challenge too if you wanted to have a challenge between you and just a couple other coworkers or your department or something like that. That can be created within the new portal as well. So it'll be a lot of good changes, and we'll definitely do enough education leading up to it. So we'll have many of these meetings if we need to make sure you guys are all comfortable with the new portal. But I wanted to make you aware of that so it wasn't a shock next year when we move forward doing that. So, do you have any questions on that? I don't have a ton of information on it because SimplyWell doesn't even have all the info yet, but I can answer basic questions. I don't anticipate the requirements being much different, and we can still have the same layout of the same program, participation-based type program, so don't anticipate that changing either. But, okay, well, that's all I've got.
Are we gonna have yoga at all this year?
So Stretch and Refresh has replaced yoga. It's very the classes are very similar. It's just more stretching as opposed to actual yoga poses, but she does incorporate a lot of the yoga concepts into the class. So that is what we are planning for right now. Alrighty, thank you for coming.